Hey Propies, this is my review for season 8 episode 20, Two-Faced. I don't think many of you really need reminding, but this was a great episode. I literally had like so many notes written down when I was watching the episode. Like my thoughts kind of came in like rambles or like short bursts. So here we go. First off, I know that guy was hammered, but if I was in a random dark alley and I came to this like random talking creepy baby, I would boot it out of there so fast. And even though TV dramas really aren't considered a main source of education, I've learned that much from Criminal Minds. And according to Polly Pride on Twitter, the baby was voiced by David McCallum. I'd read somewhere that it was one of the cast and I totally had my money on Michael Weatherly, and I was shocked it was Ducky. I never would have guessed that. Does that mean he's the killer? Probably not. Okay, now there was a lot of things I loved about this episode, so I'm gonna try to get through them really quick. Oh my god, I totally forgot to open the window. Let there be light! Okay, a little better. Love Ziva's outfit. Ziva's wardrobe has been kind of like spastic. I mean, sometimes things are great, other times it's like weird sweaters and kind of ugly, supposedly fashionable shirts. Sometimes they put her in like this flesh-colored blouse. What? Why would you do that? Anyway, but this outfit was great. If I ever see one of those like shirt dresses, I'm totally gonna have to try to recreate it. Next, love the scene where they introduce Ray. It was just really great. And then Tony's all like, Special Agent Anthony DiNozzo. And then she's like, can I give Ray a tour? And I just love the line where Gibbs is just like, don't lose him. Lull moment. I like how Ray like confessed his love for Ziva to Tony. Tony is just like shut down almost with the L word. You know, I think when Tony found out that Ziva thought of him as a brother, several of his sperm committed suicide. Is that funny or just weird? To be honest, not loving Ray yet, but I'm liking him. Just kind of like not hating, liking. But I do like how we found out that he loved her before we found out that he lied, and then that build up to that great angry scene. It was just really good writing as far as like their little storyline with the Ziva and the Ray. I also like the scene where they're about to go into like the guy's apartment and there's like the building manager super guy or whatever is there, and he's like, I have the key. I totally thought they were gonna be like, key? What key? We don't need a key. And just go ahead and like kick it in anyway, because everyone loves a good door kicking in scene. And I totally lulled when Ziva answered her cell phone in the middle of the romantic dinner with Ray. You know someone than you when? And I also loved how when EJ and the team are trying to like work together and EJ is trying to give her presentation, but she's doing it from the other side of the partition. I like how crossing the partition is like symbolic, and Tony kind of goes, but then he stops. Like Tony's the one who kind of goes because he's, you know, he's begging her, but then he has to come back because his loyalty lies with, you know, of course, Gibbs. I also love how Gibbs' voice got like really quiet. Get out of my chair. It's very Kaylin. You can get out of my chair. I love Gibbs, though he kind of manhandled her, and I think that might be a bit of an HR issue. I kind of respect EJ for holding her ground with Gibbs, but not so much for almost sitting on that guy's lap. No. Moving on, when you see a body-shaped freezer, is it really a surprise anymore to find a body inside? I mean, if that happened to me, you know, in real life, I'd be kind of like, ah! Well, I mean, that's about right. You know. I mean, it's like, it's the perfect size, really. I mean, they didn't even have to cut them up. I wonder who makes this. I also loved Gibbs at the end. He's like, oh, angry Papa Bear, you stay away from my team, and by my team I mean Tony. You know, now that I think about it, it's really great subtext fuel. Okay, moving on. Why must Tony and Ziva date such suspicious people? Because like everyone except Tony, a little bit less towards the end, is like really suspicious of Ray, and everyone is super suspicious of EJ. Nobody ever just dates a florist, do they? McGee's got the right idea. He's dating a gamer. I forget what her job is. It's not important. Abby's all, I hope Abby doesn't warm up to her, because if Abby warms up to her, then it's not looking good. I saw the argument at least once that, you know, oh, Abby didn't like Ziva at first, so, you know, now we all like Ziva. You know, a lot of viewers didn't like Ziva at first, but now, you know, we all love Ziva. And I'm like, oh, I watched the episodes mostly in order, and I liked Ziva from the first. I don't really remember a time I didn't like Ziva, but, you know, maybe I'm an exception. It's like, well, you know, Abby didn't like Chip at first. She sort of kind of a little bit warmed up to him, and then he tried to kill her with a knife. So, you know, sometimes Abby's gut is right. The Tony and Ziva jealousy was a little bit subtler than I thought it was going to be. I don't really like to see either of them jealous, but I mean, Ziva doesn't like EJ, but no one really likes EJ. Tony's like little jibes at Ray when they first met were a little childish, but I do like the looks of pain, like when Tony finds out that, you know, like this is serious with Ray and that Ziva thinks of him as a brother, he's got like a pained look. And then when Ziva's at the bar and Tony says that, you know, I understand her, Ziva looks a little pained, and I like the random like traumatic expression expressions that they get. I think it's good now that Tony's kind of slightly accepting of Ray, even though I guess they've broken up. Hopefully they get back together because that was really quick. As far as the like little love square goes, I like when they're both like around the elevator and they find out that Ray was keeping something from Ziva. I like how Tony and Ziva are just like, I love how Ziva, she just flips her lid. Like, she just goes crazy. I love it. Some people might get it. Some people might be like a little miffed, but like she just flies off the handle because Ziva has like major trust issues. So she's like, oh my god, was it even real? I just laugh every time I see that scene and I don't know why. I mean, I hope it's not over. It could be over because one, Ziva's like really emotionally damaged, or two, you know, during this last serial killer arc, you know, one of them could die or, you know, Ray could be the killer. Never know. I love this scene so much of Ziva and Tony at the bar. It's just, it reminds me of like a fanfic, but in a good way. I know, there's a lot of fanfics that involve bars. It was just a great scene for so many reasons. Like the eyeball. The end with the eyeball was so brilliant. It was very like CSI, The Finger. You know what episode I mean? For some reason I thought it'd be Gibbs sitting in the corner, like sending them over a drink or something, or maybe it'd be Ray. We never get to see who it is. It's just this mysterious man. So I'm watching the chat with Polly Pratt and I'm reading her tweets, and then she says, the eyeball belongs to someone we know. Oh my god. Oh my god. I have like no idea. I don't know. I think the eyeballs are blue. I mean, god, is it Jean? Is it Malice and Hart? I mean, my first thought was it was like that Bryce kid that they interrogated. I think it might be him. That's my only really good guess, I think. But it was delivered specifically to Tony. So this might be one of those it's personal serial killers. We'll see. And then also when EJ was giving the profile on the killer, she was kind of describing him and Ziva was like, are you sure we're not looking for Tony? And the glass is delivered to Tony. I'm thinking Tony's. I'm hoping Tony takes like a front seat in the serial killer story because Tony drama is epic. Except for Obsession. Obsession was weird, but normally it's really good. You know, hopefully they interrogate that bartender. How did he not notice the eyeballs? Now, I'm not that up on my bar procedures. One, because I don't drink, and two, because I don't go outside. Don't normally, you buy the drink, you say it's for someone else, the bartender makes it and gives it to the person, and you give them a little or whatever. I mean, did this guy like order the drink and then slip the eyeballs in and then say, hey waiter, take this to that man sitting over there, and then still, waiter, bartender person did not notice the eyeballs? That's how people get roofied, so not a very good waiter slash bartender person, unless they're in on it. Then they're probably a worse bartender, waiter slash person. I do like how the guy's signature is like ice cubes. It's just hilariously random. Okay, this episode was great. It's the kind of episode that I like. You know, it's got a great case with a great like character-driven subplot in there with the love square, and there was a lot of love square going on. Just great flow, great scenes, great moments. I'm going to give it a 4.5 out of a possible 5 calf pows. It does get a 0.5 deduction for having EJ in it, and it will be up to a 5 in the event that she is killed off. And I totally lulled when Ziva answered her phone during her romantic dinner of Ray. Of Ray? Cannibalism? Okay, we'll go with that.